All right, so we're back. Sorry, I'm just using a camera that's not really high powered or anything, so it's somehow, it's the first time I'm using it. So it somehow overheated after the first 27 minutes or something, and it shut off automatically. So I'm just gonna do a part two, and that's how I'm gonna, address this issue. And yeah, what we were talking about was the digital world, and basically getting your writing out there through ebooks or whatnot. And that didn't work for me, because what I really didn't like on Amazon was that there was a minimum of $1. I don't know if that still exists. You basically couldn't make anything available for free. And that for me was really exclusive, because there are a bunch of people who, first of all, don't have a credit card. And second of all, if it's somebody who's, taught herself or taught himself English in, the DRC in Congo, or, somewhere else, in Ecuador, or, even in Canada, who doesn't have any money whatsoever, I don't need their dollar. I really don't need their dollar. That's not the point. The point is, you're trying to reach people out there, make your writing available. I think it's good. That's why I make books. I make physical books, and I sell those. And I try to, anyways. And so you do have to make money, but you don't have to make money through making poetry available on internet for people who are trying to who are maybe interested in poetry, who want to give it a chance, who are very possibly smart, intelligent, bright people who have something to say. And I'm going to cut them off. I'm not going to give them access to maybe see something that's going to spark interest and, get them to, get up and, shed their pain, or fucking get out of a hole that they're in, just because I'm going to need a dollar or a euro off of them. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And there weren't any platforms. I couldn't find any platforms where I could make digital files available for free. So that's when I made this little website that I called poetry.berlin, www.poetry.berlin, and .berlin instead of .com, because poetry.com was taken. And I saw somebody here using .berlin. I thought that was more fun than .net. And basically I did that. I am not tech savvy, as you've noticed, and I just basically did something super simple, where I really just put up the PDF files, and there's a short introductory text letting people know what the site's about. And PDFs are up there for free. So my book Portraits, I spent more than 10 years writing that book, making that book. I'm perfectly happy with the original printer's PDF to be available for free up there. And then later on I realized, why don't you share that space? So sharing that space was a really good idea. I've had the opportunity to do some readings here with talented writers, people who going somewhere, or who actually just care for poetry and for writing. And I've invited anybody to send over their PDF of their writing, and I'll happily put it up on poetry.berlin. You don't have to be from Berlin. And I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not going to edit your work. You want to put your name, associate your name to some kind of writing, you're an adult, or you're responsible. So that's up to you. So barring some really ridiculous writing, or some really wrong things, not serious things, your writing can go up there. And I'm really happy to say that that platform has been moving a little bit and doing what I think it should be doing, and that's it. So you find ways of doing it yourself. That's what it's been for me. And I never wanted to self-publish. I wanted to kind of work through kind of others, but I do work with others. I've just really, in my case, I've really just followed a musician's advice. There's this one guy who once told me that, try to take your work as far as you can on your own, because after that, once you start sharing the kind of creative process, there's an editing process. People say no, you can't. I mean, that's good also, but if your work's growing, sure, I mean, take it as far as you can on your own. In the case of Berlin, there are a lot of, I guess, interesting places that publish. Nobody's published me here. I've sent a few things out, but I do my thing, and maybe down the road we're gonna somehow converge. And that's that. What else could I say? About writing. It's been a really worthwhile experience for me. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I've recently thought that meditation was kind of getting in the way of my poetry, because I wasn't just doing that. And maybe that was a bit dumb. Maybe, that was one of the reasons why I broke my foot. And I've just been really just pushing hard, just writing. And, it's a bit like free climbing. At the end of the day, you don't have a lot of money. You're always thinking about that. Or it's a bit like the American folk musician Townes Van Zandt said, he realized that you can really do this, but, you got to cut everything else out. I don't think that's necessary, but some of that is true. You don't have time for everything. And if you really want to be good at something, talent is one thing, and then hard work, you got to put time into it. And if you're putting time into that, you're not putting time into something else. So I don't think it's exclusive. I think you can be a good friend, partner, a member of a community, a citizen, a politically active person, and a good artist. But at the end of the day, you are going to have to make some choices. So, find what works for you. I'd say move, travel if you can. Others don't travel. Others maybe just live in a little basement somewhere, and they read a lot. That's another thing. I read, but I don't read crazy amounts, so you do things your way. I think that's what's interesting. And I think it's wonderful to hear and to read other people's voices out there. Poetry is certainly not going anywhere. I think especially today in this kind of short flash attention mode, poetry is making a comeback. People are interested in, tell me what you have to say. I'm giving you 15 seconds. I'm giving you, 2 lines, 3 lines. I was going to say silly stuff about Twitter, but I won't. Yeah, so that's about it. I also think that great if you're using Instagram and Facebook and you're super organized. Does it have to be like that? No, you don't at all. There are 1,000,001 ways you can. I know other poets who've really been very respectful, sending out their texts to publishers, respected publishers, and respecting a certain establishment out there, which I've tried to do. I really have. I've sent my stuff out a lot, and just a lot of people. At the end of the day, at best, I'll get emails that say, "Oh, we really like your stuff, but it doesn't fit with what we publish." I'm like, all right, you got to respect that, and then you just got to do it yourself. It's like with this camera, I got a bunch of people here do podcasts and do different things, and I've reached out to friends and other artists, and I said, well, there's this great guy. Gavin, who asked me to do this thing for St. Lawrence College, and it's this video, and basically I understand them. They're like, what are we gonna do? Just film you? So I actually had one friend who came over and brought me this camera, and you just do it. And, it's probably going to cut off now as soon as the camera heats up too much again. And so, if that happens, it'll just be 3 files that, we'll post to Facebook and whatnot. And the important thing is that we are communicating, we're reaching each other, and I'm trying to say something, right? And it either interests you and it's pertinent or not. It has something to do with your class. It has something to do with your writing. And good. I mean, another thing also is at some point, the whole do-it-yourself thing goes too far. There's a little group called Berlin Writers. It's a little writers circle that a girl here called Sana, who she kind of organizes this, and she does a great job. And I've gone there recently, and you do these little exercises, and then they give you a prompt. And if, as in my case, you've been writing alone, and not trying to cheat, not using any help, any prompts or anything, as soon as somebody gives you some parameters or some kind of prompt, boom, you can really, who knows, maybe, that's the way I should be writing, because I write differently as soon as I get some prompts, because you get a bit of help, you get a bit of, direction, and then, you get a lot of stuff that comes out that won't necessarily come out if you're just sitting in your room going, make it happen out of thin air. That works too, it's tough, but maybe it doesn't have to always be super tough. Another thing I'd like to say is traveling. For me, in 2015, I went to India, and I traveled, and as soon as I hit the road, my writing just started flowing out of me, and the writing was a lot more colorful. India is for me is all about people and colors, all these bright colors, and my writing, which can often be very gray, became very, very colorful. And I think something had to do that color came from the fact that I was on the road, and that I wasn't, necessarily sitting in some kind of Western city, trying to pay rent. And, you got to get out there a little bit. If you are doing this, if you are living, very much constricted by Starbucks world, and, I like Starbucks, I like having a Big Mac now and then. I eat a lot less meat, but nonetheless, if you're kind of in that very square Cartesian world, and in my case, for a long time I was fascinated by people. My book's called Portraits, and if you're if you're really going to be anthropocentered, centered around people, your writing is going to be gray. Put some life into it. Use your feet. Werner Herzog said that he's now celebrating. Some guy made a documentary about some guy who travels by foot. Some guy who traveled by foot exclusively. Hopefully, now that I have a broken foot and it's not really healing well, because I didn't get treated very nicely by the people at the Rugen Hospital. But I'm going to leave that at that. But my foot's kind of not functioning well, but hopefully I can get back out there and travel by foot, and try that out a little bit more, so that the writing can sing more, can be more colorful, and can be happier than when we cage ourselves and we don't move around as much as we should. But that's me. Other people might have different ways of functioning. I followed up my book with a little thing called Hitchhiking, which is also up there on Poetry.Berlin, and that basically happened because I went to the Ile de la Madeleine, and I hitchhiked out there, and that was really nice. You meet people and they talk to you, and for me, poetry is a bit of a barometer. You know, when I'm not writing, clearly I'm doing something wrong. And you know, when I'm writing bad stuff and poorly, obviously I need to make some adjustments. So I think I'm going to stop this here. We're going to be close to something like 45 minutes. That's like a set. That's like a music set, you know. So hopefully this has given you some kind of perspective from someone else who's writing, who's doing that full time, who's out there. Look me up if ever you're in Berlin. Like I said, my name's Robert. Sometimes I just use my first name. That's a bit fun. It's my little way of having fun. At the end of the day, there aren't that many people writing out there. There's certainly not many people with my voice writing and saying what I'm saying. So, you know, Robert's good enough. So, yeah. It's going to be about it. Gavin, who I had the pleasure of meeting last summer on Rue Cartier. And since then we've started a little correspondence. It's really been a true pleasure. I think Glenn is an encyclopedia. You know, he's a well of experience, and especially he has a passion for writing, writes himself. So thank you very much, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to St. Lawrence College, and to all of you out there. We haven't met, but hope you enjoyed this video, and happy writing, and more importantly, happy living. All right, so that's it.